What is going on, Arizona sports fan family? What's going on, everybody? Beautiful Wednesday here. If you don't notice, I am wearing my Valley jersey here. Go Phoenix Suns. We are just waiting for the playoffs to hit, and something magical happened yesterday where we took down the pesky Los Angeles Lakers and sent them packing, which makes me absolutely super excited. But we're here, ladies and gentlemen. We are here back on a live stream. And yes, I took a long hiatus, in my personal opinion, about a week and a half, maybe close to 2 weeks here. I feel like I just needed an opportunity to decompress what happened and what's going on so far this offseason. So we got the roundtable that we're going to go ahead and get everything situated here, guys. I'm absolutely super excited about. Let's get this going. Super stoked about this. Probably one of my favorite things to do outside of opening up the phone lines. But we are going to open up the roundtable here pretty soon. Now, if you guys aren't like diehard Arizona Cardinal fans, like, let me fill you in some latest moves that the Arizona Cardinals did. Now, if you are diehard Arizona Cardinal fans, you probably already know this. So earmuffs, enjoy the show, whatever you want to go ahead and do. But let's just go ahead and go over this before we start the roundtable here, ladies and gentlemen. Now, let me get my background here all situated when we get everything ready to go. But the Arizona Cardinals have made some moves, not the big splash plays that we thought we were going to see, but the Arizona Cardinals end up signing another tight end. Now, whether you like it, whether you don't like it, the guy is Steven Anderson, I believe his name is. Yeah, I think that's what it is. I know Anderson is the last name. Guy that seems like he comes from Chargers. I know a lot of people were like, why? What's going on? Why are we doing this? We need that. We need this. We need that. I think the bottom line is it's just depth. It's depth more than anything. I wouldn't spend too much on it. Like, I wouldn't really think too much about it and get really upset over it, because at the bottom line, it is what it is. Good news, I guess good news, however you want to look at it, but Darrell Williams, uh, a running back from the Chiefs. Wow, I can't speak today at all. He ended up playing for Darrell Williams ended up playing for the Chiefs. He visited the Arizona Cardinals. Now, there's speculation saying that he signed already. I haven't heard anything personally, but everybody's got sources out there. So believe what you ever want to believe. But the Arizona Cardinals did bring him in for a workout for possibly to talk to. So that's pretty cool. Hopefully we can start making some moves. Now, me personally, I would love Eno Benjamin to get the opportunity, like, honestly. But if Darrell Williams comes in, I'm not going to be upset. I really wouldn't. I mean, I think the Arizona Cardinals should really start looking like at those big key 5 spots that I don't feel like we actually addressed yet, which obviously is going to be, the guard, the edge, cornerback, wide receiver number 2, and hey, heck, let's just throw another defensive lineman in there in the interior. Now, right now, if you take a look at the free agency market, there really isn't that much people that, in my personal opinion, are going to be game changers. Now, we probably said the same thing last year. We got, James Conner, and he was an actual big surprise. So definitely big shout out to James Conner for doubting a lot of the haters out there, which, hey, it only benefited the Arizona Cardinals. But what are the Arizona Cardinals going to do now? That's the biggest thing, right? We still got a lot of holes. There's still a lot of fan bases out there that are really pissed off with what's going on right now for the Arizona Cardinals. Pretty dry. Nothing really much is going on in this very moment, but that's why we're opening up this roundtable, ladies and gentlemen. I want to hear from every single one of you guys how you're feeling about the offseason. In your personal opinion, do you like what Steve Keim is doing? Do you not like what Steve Keim is doing? Do you have an answer as to why this is turning out the way that it's turning out? So we're going to dive into all those different stuff, guys. Definitely everybody in the chat, appreciate you guys for being here. As always, if you want to get involved, definitely make sure you throw some comments on the comments here. We can go ahead and ask the questions on the panel for the fans that are on the chat right now. I can only assume the longer we get into this stream, the more people are going to be coming in as the time goes. So if you do want to jump on, one thing I just ask one thing. Cameras on, unless you're a person that's been jumping on here a lot. And the reason why is because, trolls, man. Trolls come in here and then they act crazy every once in a while. But let's get this started, ladies and gentlemen. Let's open up the round table. And then I guess one other thing too, 18 and over, or at least being of age. And the biggest reason why is I don't want people to kind of get offended, because roundtables can kind of get a little intense. Now, it hasn't happened on my channel so far, but that's one kind of other thing that I want to put out there. Let's just make sure that, we are kind of, at least 16, at least 17, 18, something along those lines. So no parents have to come at me and be like, you know what that person said to my kids? I ain't about that life. So let's get this going here, ladies and gentlemen. Let's open up the roundtable. We got some people waiting in the background right now. Let's open it up. Let's get to my guy, Justin. Justin, what's up, dude?
How you doing, man?
I am good, man. Sorry, I might have caught you. I might have caught you wrong there. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Awesome, brother. Cool. Well, let's keep bringing everybody in. We got my guy BBH in the house. We got AZ Sports Girl. I haven't seen you in a hot second. How you doing? Thank you so much for coming through. And then we got Chris Simmons up in the house. Appreciate everybody for coming through. Now we will be getting more people as the stream goes on. So expect more people to jump on. But we're here to talk some Arizona Cardinals. I know you are all diehard Arizona Cardinal fans, and we want to figure out what's going on, right? In the fan perspective. We got my guy Alex too. Alex, what's up, brother, man?
How you doing?
Thanks for coming through. Good, man. Good. All right, let's get started. We have officially opened up the roundtable, ladies and gentlemen. What are we sitting right now? Like 22 days away from the draft. A lot of speculation, a lot of talk that we want to go ahead and dive into. But let's first start off with the elephant in the room, the offseason. What's going on? How are you feeling about it? Whatever you guys want to go through. Let's go ahead and get started. Who wants to go and get started?
Well, I guess I'll go ahead and go. It's been It's just been pure disappointment right from the get-go. We were promised that the organization would be aggressive, that they will be very much involved with a lot of the key pieces that we need this year. And so far, and Mike, you've mentioned this time and time again, nothing's happened. Don't get me wrong. We've signed a lot of our good players from last year, which is great. But I feel like we've lost more than we've gained. We've lost Chandler Jones. We've lost some significant pieces that really could have helped us in the long run. So overall, if you were to give me specifically, if I wanted to give a grade for this offseason so far, it's a D-, and that's just being nice.
All right. I respect that. Let's keep it going here right now. Look at big shout out, Shadow Raven. What's up, brother? Thanks for coming in here. Let me hear from you, man. How are you feeling about this whole offseason so far?
Man, this offseason's been kind of lame, I'm not going to lie. I mean, in the grand scheme of things for all NFL, crazy. But for us, I mean, I was hoping we'd get some key players to safety up that cornerback room, and we just haven't done that. We got Jeff Gladney, right?
Yep.
Not a huge, impact, I don't think. But I was really hoping, we'd fix our edge with Chandler Jones, and we haven't really done much. I think we're being kind of lame right now. I think we're just waiting to see if, any big time people that are left will take a not a super expensive contract.
Okay.
And I just hope we splash in the draft and not draft another linebacker again.
I think that's what we're all kind of hoping for, right? We're gonna get into the draft a little later on. Let's keep moving on here. Let's get with Justin. Justin, how are you feeling so far about this offseason, man? Do you have a different approach?
I'm gonna give it a C. I'm gonna give it a C just because we did sign Connor back, some other couple little key players that we got back. We did lose some good guys, but it could have been worse. But I wanted more. I just wanted us to go out and grab something better. Is AJ Green, is he still on, right?
Yeah, he's still available. Yeah,
he's still. I wanted something out with him and someone else put in that number 2 slot. Just the little different things like O-line, D-line. I wanted that built up more. But hopefully that gets hit in the draft like you were talking about later. But we just don't know at this point in history. Hopefully history won't repeat itself this year.
I agree, man. Let's get to my guy BBH and then AZ Sports Girl. We're gonna get you right after my guy BBH here. BBH, how you feeling, man?
Honestly, like I said before, not too happy about the offseason. Yeah, they promised that they're trying to keep Ertz and definitely one of the running backs, which they did. But the promise that they made that they're going to be aggressive, try to make a push to continue the push that we've been making. None of that seems real. That just seems them talking like last year, saying like our first round will be definitely starting. Like there's another one to keep us quiet and not put them in a hot seat because of them extending Kime and Cliff for another 4 years or 5 years. I don't remember what it was. But if we do bad this year, then we're gonna be in a hole. Like we told you not to resign them, but now we're in another hole. We have to pay If we release them, we have to continue paying them. But um, I'm not too happy about this offseason. Like, I heard there's rumors out there right now that the Cardinals are interested in this wide receiver from the Patriots. I forgot his name. Um,
Nikhil Harry.
yeah, Nikhil Harry. I don't know about him. He's definitely a big body wide receiver, but he just doesn't do the routes. Like like I watched a few of his clips, and he doesn't seem like to run his routes and try to get open. Like I feel like he just gives up midway. He's like, oh, I can't reach this guy. Oh well. So I want to stay away from him. Definitely.
Okay. All right. AZ Sports Girl, how are you feeling so far about what's going on so far in this offseason?
Honestly, I kind of agree with what Alex said. I give this season a pretty big D minus because Steve Keim, he was like, "Oh, we're gonna have great players going on in the playoffs," and then we just choke in the playoffs, and I wasn't really too happy. But the draft should be really interesting because we need more players that can actually not just stand there and do nothing like Kyler. And not gonna lie, when I heard when Chandler Jones got signed with the Raiders, I believe it was, I kind of cried a little bit on the inside. So I give this season a D minus.
Okay, and that's fair. I know I see some people in the chat here saying that Chandler leaving, was a good thing. Me personally, I think Chandler brought more to the table than just, the sacks. He brought the pressures, he brought the leadership, he brought who Chandler Jones was and just his play. And it's going to be really hard to expect a Marcus Golden to do it alone, to expect Dennis Gardick to do what he had in that magical season when everybody was hurt. Is it going to happen? I don't 100% know. But let me get to my guy Chris Simmons here real quick. Chris, I see you there, man. How you feeling so far about this offseason for the Cardinals?
I had pretzels in my mouth. So my main problem is one of the first things we did, I think. We re-signed Keim and Peasantbury. That kind of broke me a little inside. That broke me almost as much as the Blazers trading away CJ McCollum in the NBA. So at least McCollum was respected and got 2 standing ovations in the home game against New Orleans recently. Nice. That was pretty awesome. That place blew up. And whenever he scored, it was like he was still playing for Portland. So at least not everything sucks in my life.
Yeah, that's a highlight. That's definitely a highlight for sure. Cool. Awesome. Well, let's get over here real quick. Obviously, offseason, it seems like everybody seems to be disappointed, right? That seems to be what's going on here. Now, though, there's some people out there that want to take, the positive approach. Now, have you guys been to the Twitter world? I'm assuming there's the positive fans, and then there's the fans that call us, and I'm going to group myself with everybody, the negative fans. But I consider just more realistic. I consider more show me Cardinals that you can do it and you won't be doubted. That type of thing. And, we're kind of having the same thing over and over again, right? We're dealing with the same stuff. I mean, we're Arizona Cardinal fans. Like we're kind of used to it, but we do want and expect better. At least I hope so anyway. So we did get some grades all across the board. I appreciate that. No, let me take a different approach here. Why do you think this is happening? Do you think Michael Bidwell is just a cheap, you know what I want to say? Or do you think Steve Keim just sucks at his job? What do you think? Let's lay it in here. Whoever wants to start first.
Honestly, the only reason I would in any way disagree with Keim being bad at his job is because a lot of it is just shots in the dark, even early in the draft in the first round, because that's something people have talked about him being bad at, but some of it is just really just shots in the dark. The only time you can really be bad at it is if you're like Dave Gettleman, where the Giants need like defense or something, and then they draft Kadarius Toney.
Right. Yeah, that's fair. Anybody else?
I think Bidwell is just either too comfortable with Steve Keim to let him go. There's just something that's just off between either him being scared to let him go or just have so many years together that he doesn't want to let him go. But it's time. It was time.
Yeah, I think so too, man. I'm right there with you. Anybody else?
Honestly, I believe. I don't know, Keim. I didn't want to believe it 3 years ago, but after seeing it for the past 3 years and it's constantly happening, I believe Keim just loves his veterans. Like
The
he
retirement.
expects he banks on like the veterans. Like when we did that 2015 run, who did we all sign? They were all veterans.
Oh,
Carson Palmer was there. We had a few veteran running backs. Besides David Johnson, like I feel like he got lucky with him. He got very lucky with him.
Dwight.
But like it's just luck. Like he just gets lucky with some veterans and some he just misses. Like I feel like he's closing his eyes. He has like a dart of like free agency. He closes his eyes and be like lands and then be like, okay, I want that veteran.
Right.
Like I don't think he looks at the statistics like seeing because we get veterans that are like in a downhill, and then he gets lucky ones that like are still like fluctuating. Like they're consistent, but like they're still old. Like he only gets to the 2-3 window, and then we're back in rebuild mode. Like I need Kime to see that he needs to do a lot more. He needs to at least have better recruiting, or he needs to be better at looking who's available. Because he says who's the best available, but we don't even start him. So I feel like he loves his veterans a lot more than he does it. Like he feels like win now, worry about rookies later.
That's fair. All right. Anybody else?
I think Kime's always trying to make moves just to keep his job, and Bidwell sees that, and he's like, well, he did that, so let's keep him for another year. Oh, he did that, let's keep him for another year. And now, this year he got his secured contract. So I mean, maybe he's not trying to, do his aggressive pushes, as he would when he's on this hot seat, And I just think it's just kind of, lame. And I think Bidwell's also being a cheap guy. So
yeah, I hear you. Alex, any thoughts on this?
It kind of goes back to what we've been saying for the longest time. Arizona is notorious for being the retirement center of the NFL. We're getting players past their prime on our team. I mean, I remember Edgerrin James, the Edgerrin James days, the Kevin Cobb days. We're getting all these players that were glimmers of the beacons of greatness with their previous teams, but the second they bring that stuff here, for some reason, it just doesn't work out for us. Bouncing back over to what I said before, Kime should have been gone a long time ago. I keep referring to that 2018 season. When you fire your entire coaching staff, the head coach, offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, you traded up to get Josh Rosen, only to trade him after only a year being with us to another team, and then go out and get Kyler Murray. That says something about you. That spells trouble. If this were any other place, if this were a Pittsburgh, if this were a Seattle, or a team with gravitas, I guess you can say, they would have put his head on a pike. Yeah. But because we're the Cardinals, because we're Cardinal fans, and we celebrate mediocrity, Bidwell gives this a pass, and it's not right. We need to be more aggressive, and it starts with our front office, and it starts with our leadership. This is why Kyler Murray's off on a tangent on Twitter. This is the most divided I've ever seen our fan base in my years being a fan of this organization. I have never seen fans at each other's throats when, obviously we should be celebrating the fact that we've gotten where we're at now, but how it ended up in flames. We've seen stuff like this happen before in the past, and a lot of us realistic fans are worried that lightning is going to strike twice. And I fear for the future. I fear this upcoming year if we don't change. But our leadership team doesn't do a thing, and it's aggravating that it's gotten to this point.
Yeah. I agree. AZ Sports Girl, anything for you on your end before we, because I want to keep talking about this because this is, Alex put some dimes out there. Good stuff.
I honestly agree with Alex. Excuse me. Because whenever Bidwell and Kime get a list of random players pushed in front of them, they don't even care. Like, they don't even look at the key aspects of each player. They're just like, oh, let's draft this guy, this guy, this guy, and this guy. And when they're put into the game, they don't do anything. They really don't. This is why I'm questioning Bidwell and Kime's leadership every single season. I feel like they're always the reason why we collapse through the playoffs. And Bidwell really, really should have been gone long time ago.
Yeah, I mean, if I think if we had the option, right, if we were a Green Bay, I think we could probably make that decision in terms of a fans. But to get rid of an owner would have to make him want to give up that. But that's the thing, like he's still making his money. Like that's the thing. This is a gold mine for Michael Bidwell. No matter if we're struggling, if
Uh,
we're emotional. What's up, Alex?
and there's nothing we can do about that because we're fans. We'll feed it. We'll still buy the merchandise. We'll still go to the games. But the same thing, we will still accept disappointments. Going back, and I've seen you going back and forth with some fans saying we need to be more positive, we need to be more uplifting. But this team, we're so happy with mediocrity. We had what 2 QBs on our Hall of Fame Ring of Honor that almost got us to the Super Bowl, who almost got us the Lombardi. If they were on any other team, i.e., like Chicago with Rex Grossman, he was burned alive by the fan base, and they would never put him on their Ring of Honor. But yet we have Carson Palmer and Kurt Warner, who, don't get me wrong, fantastic players, definitely worthy of a Hall of Fame anything. But when you think about them, when you think of Kurt Warner, you don't think Arizona Cardinals. You think the greatest show on turf with St. Louis. When you think Carson Palmer, you don't think Arizona Cardinals. You think Cincinnati. You think of his time with USC. They're not prominent Cardinal players like a Larry Fitzgerald. So we need to band together as fans, and we need to address this to the front office that we can't continue this any longer. This is frustrating. It's demeaning as Cardinal fans.
I completely 100% agree with you. 100% agree with you. If, like I said, if there was a way that we could get Michael Pitt, I think everybody, or at least the majority of the fan base, would be like, yeah, let's give it a try. But almost what you guys said was that Steve Keim does things to make sure he saves his job, right? But it's almost kind of like put yourself in a real life scenario for the people that do have jobs, right? Performance reviews coming up here. You better bet as heck you're gonna make sure you're gonna act like the best employee, you've ever had. You were coming up there with your polos and stuff like that, and just doing really good work. Almost the same concept. Now he doesn't really have much of a fire under his belt because he's got the 5-year extension, which yes, it's frustrating. I hate it. And everybody knows how I feel about Cliff Kingsbury. There's no secret there. But I was actually more pissed off that Keim got the extension over Cliff. Yeah, okay, Cliff. Let's give Cliff 5, 8, and 11. And you know what I'm talking about, the wins. Let's give it to him. Cool. But for Steve Keim to do it year in and year out with the same stuff and promising us, with us being like, because he can tell us best player available, but ladies and gentlemen, that's subjective. It's a subjective thing to say when best player available is sitting his Jaime on the bench and not participating a good majority of the season, which is frustrating to see Isaiah Simmons to ride the bench and Zaven Collins as well. But I do got some super chats that I want to also kind of get involved with as well. Let's get to my guy L Raider 93. He says, shout out to AZ Sports from Raiders fan. Cool. I like Cardinals as a team, and although we got Jones, I'm still shocked how he didn't get re-signed back. Let's talk about this. Yeah. Big shout out here. Let's talk about Chandler Jones. How do you feel about losing him? I know AZ Sports Girl kind of chimed in and said, cried a little bit inside. How are you guys feeling about losing Chandler Jones?
I think it was a big impact on our defense for sure. Though he was going to be very expensive, that contract, I don't think we were going to be ever willing to pay him that. But if he took some team deal, that would have been great. But I mean, overall, it kind of sucks, and we're not going to get a player that's going to get double teamed like him, who's going to get the edge pressure like that, and for a little while at least, not till next year probably. I mean, so it was a bad like omen, there. So,
all right. Anybody else? Chandler Jones.
Yeah, I think it was a good move to let him go. I mean, I'm thankful for his time in Arizona, and I enjoyed watching him play, but it was time. It was definitely time seeing his one game going out and then the rest of the season not showing out in stats. Yeah, he may have been on the field and motivating the team, but it's just time going back to the retirement house. We need something young and new for at least the linebacker position, but it was a good move, I think, overall. Even though I'm gonna miss him for sure.
Oh, for
He's a
sure.
good guy.
Sure.
Good guy.
No
Alex?
doubt about it. Especially given the fact that we're consistently picking up linebackers like crazy. So this definitely gives an opportunity for Collins and Simmons to step up. You know, you mentioned Golden being another one. It was a bittersweet pill to swallow.
Right.
I'm right there with Sports Girl on that one. I mean, losing him, seeing him in silver and black, it does bring a tear to the eye, especially how much he's done for the community and what he's done for our organization. But I'm kind of split down the middle. If he had shown better, more promise the rest of the season, because the only thing we all seem to unanimously agree was that game against the Titans was
5 sets.
amazing.
Oh, yeah.
And we were all hoping that this will set the tone for the rest of the season. But unfortunately, that was just for one game. And even he had mentioned on Twitter, he apologized to the fans. Hey, I'm sorry for letting you down, but I'm gonna keep on, trying. And we never really saw him try. He tried, but it's just wasn't enough. So, am I sad to see him go? Absolutely. But I hope and pray that this will allow the younger talent to, step up. God willing, if Vance Joseph, plays them.
I agree. No, I agree. Something in me says Chandler Jones was playing, but he wasn't giving his full. He's going for a contract extension. One last thing you want to do is, if you're going to be a free agent, is you don't want to get hurt. That's number one thing. You want to collect the bag one last time. And I do think he was playing for us, but he wasn't putting his full 110% in my personal opinion. But good luck for Chandler Jones and the Raiders. Hopefully he does some good things, except for when we play you guys this next year, because no, I ain't about that life. Let me get Mark Jackson here. Sorry, can't watch. Have a great stream. Appreciate you, man. Thanks for coming through. And I do have a channel member jumping on as well. Thank you so very much for becoming a channel member. Thank you. Let's keep it going here. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Can I say something on the side note? I'm just very happy we got Marcus Golden back, because he was balling out this season. Yeah. I'm very, very happy we got him back.
Agreed.
If anyone deserves that big contract with the linebacker position, it's him.
I agree. And it's cool, too, because Chandler Jones is one of those players. Marcus Golden is one of those players that, you don't really see it very much, but he truly enjoys Arizona. He truly enjoys being an Arizona Cardinal. And I think that's kind of really exciting as a Cardinal fan, to be like, man, you really want to be here? Really? Okay, cool. It's not about the money? Awesome, cool. Because you know what I mean? He went to New York and tried to collect the bag, but he was miserable. I mean, he wasn't really happy there. He wanted to come back. So I'm glad for sure. Let's hope and pray that, he's going to be able to work for the Junkyard Dog this coming year. Because at this moment, Dennis Gardick on the other side, or who else do we got on the edge? And it's kind of a little worrisome. Let's talk about the draft here. I think we don't need to get details in terms of we need to do this, we need to trade this pick and that pick. It doesn't need to get that deep. But what I'm going to ask you guys is the Arizona Cardinals draft. I think this is huge for the Arizona Cardinals coming in here, because we can address a good amount of positions, but we got to play it smart. What do you want Steve Keim to do this coming draft?
Well, to start off, hopefully, our biggest need is definitely wide receiver and cornerback if we don't get any more in the offseason. So I definitely want that to be our first and second pick early on. And then with our second round pick, I want them to get definitely an edge rusher, because we're definitely going to need that with Chandler Jones leaving. Because that's going to be our three biggest needs. It's going to be wide receiver, corner, and definitely defensive line edge rusher. Preferably, I want run stoppers, because that was our biggest weakness. So hopefully the edge can be like a run stopper or defensive tackle. Right. But as far as, I just hope if he fits the needs in our first round, actually starts, and it's an offensive starter. I want the first round to be a wide receiver, because I want to see if Cliff will actually start that rookie wide receiver, because he kind of did with Randall Moore, and he was a second round pick.
Yeah.
And our first round pick started the first snaps, and after that, we haven't seen him.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what Vance Joseph was like. Okay, we're gonna put him in the first game, and after that, they're gonna forget about him. Like he's not very good at like helping those young defensive players.
Yeah, a lot of things that people don't really think about too, as well, is that a lot of defensive, not a lot of them, but a good majority, as the reason why people are offensive coordinators and defensive coordinators, they hope, they pray for the opportunity to become a head coach.
Mhm.
That's what a lot of people under the promotion, right? Compare it to our jobs, right? We want promotions, we want more money. And one thing that I think that Vance Joseph might have wanted is he had his own agenda. He thought Jordan Hicks is going to be the guy to get him into the clear. And it was obvious that Jordan Hicks was more of a liability when it came down to the run defense, more than anything. And we've been talking about it for a bit. But at the end of the day, it's Vance Joseph's decision. And I think he was looking to hopefully get a head coaching job, which I thought he was going to go to Miami. I really did. I was like, oh, good, ready to go. Let's do that. Let's get Vic Fangio. Let's get this going. Let's rock and roll. But no, he's coming back here, and let's just see what happens this next year.
Yeah, the quick thing on that run defense with Jordan Hicks. I was really surprised that he put in Jordan Hicks and over Zayvon Collins, because Zayvon Collins was really good at stopping the run. In the first game, he showed a lot of potential of him stopping the run because he put Derrick Henry in check, and no one can really say that. So I was very surprised that he took him out, because after that, our run defense was not good at all. So hopefully this year he lets Zayvon Collins play, and hopefully with him stopping the run and continuing what he did in week one, will show that Vance Joseph made a mistake, and that he will never make the mistake again. And that's all we can really pray for at this point.
100% agree. 100% agree. Anybody else want to give your take in terms of what do you want the Arizona Cardinals to? Hey, trading up is an option as well. Trading back is an option as well. So what do you think, y'all?
I want three. I only want three specific groups. I want a wide receiver, a young wide receiver, D-line, and I know we're probably not going to get it like most years, but I want some O-linemen, but that usually doesn't happen too often.
Yeah, especially that far back. You never know. You never know how it's going to play out, but we'll see. We'll definitely see. Alex, what you got?
Wide receiver is definitely on the top of the list for me. A cornerback is also on there. An edge rusher would be pretty cool. But I think if I'm putting on my Keim, hat on, I guess you could say, I would definitely go for wide receiver. Someone young, someone that's among the top wide receivers would definitely be on my radar first, and then kind of go down the line. All right, let's go for a cornerback, and then start filling out, edge rusher. He'd mentioned offensive line would be nice, some more key additions for that. But wide receiver is my choice.
All right, perfect. Chris, anything you got? And then we got my guy Shadow Raven coming up next. Any thoughts?
I don't really have anything particular in mind. Yeah.
However it falls, right? Cool beans.
Yeah, honestly.
All right, Shadow Raven.
I think wide receiver is one of the bigger needs, though, for this team.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right, Shadow Raven, what you got?
Yeah, I'm hoping maybe like Chris Olave might fall to us. It's probably not going to happen, but a receiver. The cornerbacks are fast this year, so I definitely want to get like one of the more top cornerbacks, since they're all pretty fast, and either O-line or edge rusher, one of the two. I mean, we just need to do something, some solid pick, just not a middle linebacker.
We're all scarred with that, right? Let me get to my guy Indigo Aurora 95 says need offensive lineman, a wide receiver, defensive. So no R1, RD1. Help me out, yo. RD1.
RD1.
I suck so
run defense, I guess.
Oh, okay, maybe. Yeah, maybe run defense, like maybe in the interior, 1 and 2 is probably what he's saying.
I think he meant like defensive tackle.
That's what I think so too. Okay, Vance Joseph doesn't have a great track record of starting rookies. Yeah, I mean, 100%. I think we're kind of in that situation where we want to start seeing somebody, even if he flops and fails. You know what I mean? The best opportunity for somebody to get involved in this team is for him to get the reps. And I know a lot of people are saying, well, Zayvon Collins had that issue in the offseason with, him getting arrested with, speed driving and stuff like that. But I'm always going to say, like, it leads by example type of thing. Like, if you're going to have your GM, get away with kind of, what he did, and we're going to kind of just give him a slap in the hand and then punish a rookie that has solid potential. I wasn't a fan of the pick because I knew somehow that this was going to play out like this. But, I wanted him to succeed. You know what I mean? Because his succession means good things for the Arizona Cardinals, like facts. So I did have a question. Go ahead.
Yeah, another thing I want to mention that a lot of us are forgetting that we're also needing is safety help. A lot of our depth safeties have left, and I don't think we're resigning them because if we would resign them by now. I think we only have like two main ones, which is Buda Baker and I think Jalen Thompson. I think still with us. Thomas. I think he's still with us. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Maybe he is. Then that's the only two we really have. And if one of them gets hurt, who's gonna be there? So I think we might have to draft the safety as well.
Maybe a later round safety. I definitely agree there. I did see a question up here, a little top. Somebody asked about Brandon Cooks. I kind of want to get that question involved here. What's up, Shadow?
Is Banjo still there? And his Deontay, the brother?
Right. I think Banjo was
They're role players who are not like amazing.
Right.
So.
I think Deontay might be just because he might still be on the rookie deal. I think Banjo was just a 1-year deal. So unless they bring him back, I think those are. But yeah, I think Jalen and Buddha might be the ones that we have like for sure coming back. But Brandon Cooks, it's been something that a lot of people here in Arizona have been talking about. The radio station's been talking about it. Why not give up a second rounder, a third rounder for somebody like Brandon Cooks? Is that something that you guys are interested in? Are you just want to go young talent? How are you guys feeling about the opportunity of Brandon Cooks maybe coming in, being opposite side of DeAndre Hopkins?
Sorry. But I don't know about a whole second and third round pick. I think that's a bit much because he hasn't shown reproduction, and that's not his fault because he is with the Texans and they have a QB situation. So we didn't really see much with him because if we give him a second and third round pick and he continues to perform how he did with the Texans, then that was a waste of that was basically a loss of our trade. So if they want to be nice and they want to continue doing the rebuild mode, I'll give them a fifth if we have one, or trade one of it's Andy's gone, right? Andy's gone, or is he still in the market for a trade?
I think the option for Andy to be traded, but I don't think anybody wants. I don't think anybody wants to trade for him. They're probably gonna pick him up if he gets released. Let's be honest, probably.
I say give him like a pick and then give him Andy. Like we'll trade you a receiver for a receiver. We'll give you a pick as well.
Yeah, possibly. Anybody else? Brandon Cooks.
Yeah, I mean he's a good option, and if he does what he did with Mills, in the beginning of the season. That would not be a bad trade, I think, for like a third or fourth, But I'd rather see us sign either a receiver or just draft a receiver, such as, Julio or, one of the younger receivers in the draft. And I think Cooks might be an expensive contract, for what he's going to give us probably. So,
okay. Justin, any thoughts?
I would probably agree with him. I'd probably say instead of a third, I'd probably say 4th to 5th round pick, if anything. But I would like Young. I would like a young wide receiver to hopefully do what we wanted Christian Kirk to do. Hopefully.
Yeah, I hear. We have a comment right here from Mars saying we should have gotten Devontae Parker when we had the chance, but Keim fiddling his thumbs. Anybody sad about what did he go for? What is it, a 4? What was it again?
Like a third and a fourth, I think.
Third and a fourth.
Yeah.
Dang. Anybody like that option? I know he gets hurt, but anybody?
I mean, for that type of trade, I definitely would have taken it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
A third straight up, right?
Yeah, I think it would definitely have been a flyer to maybe consider, right? I mean, somebody that we know can play in the NFL, and see what happens here. What's one wide receiver in the draft? Because I think we've all kind of come to the consensus, right? We want wide receiver. If you were to have to trade up for one wide receiver that you want the Arizona Cardinals to pick up. Now, I'm not saying to the top 10, maybe top 15, maybe somebody in there. Who do you want the Arizona Cardinals to possibly target? Because it's really hard to try to hope and pray that he's going to fall to 23. Anybody?
I mean, I like I said earlier, Chris Olave, and he's like a top 6 receiver in the draft right now. And, so if other people don't draft receivers, it could happen, but he's just one of them. And then Drake London also. I know he's a baller, so
right.
Those are 2 receivers I'd love.
All right.
Anybody else? It's
good.
You're good.
Oh, he crashed.
Yeah, he did.
We lost one there.
All right, go ahead, Alex.
No, I got Jalen Dawson as someone who I would choose in the first round. I loved his work in Penn State, so for me, I'd get him.
Okay.
He's projected actually to kind of fall to like the bottom half of the draft. I believe NFL.com actually has him going to us. I think ahead of him was Olave?
Chris Olave. Mm-hmm.
Chris Olave. Yeah, they have him going out in the somewhere in the top 15. I didn't see anyone else. The one that kind of caught my eye, someone who I personally wouldn't mind getting, is McDuffie.
Oh yeah, the cornerback. Yeah,
there are apparently 5 teams who are really like pushing to go up to get him. He's definitely the one he's definitely among my top 3 as far as who I would personally get.
I like that. Okay, switching it up on its cornerback. What were you saying, BBH? My bad.
Yeah. So it's really tough with this draft because there's a lot of stud wide receivers, a lot of good edge rushers coming in, corners. Like that's where a lot of teams are gonna be hitting early on in the draft. So we're really a bad situation. So if we really want to get a stud wide receiver that is for sure gonna produce or take a swing at, and be safe about it, then we have to trade a first and a second. That way we can try to get one. But I feel like with how good this draft class is, that they're gonna be asking for more. So it's gonna be kind of hard to trade up.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough for sure to try to do that. Does anybody like Jameson Williams? Anybody like that as an option?
Absolutely. I mean, I would gladly take any wide. Most of these wide receivers that are going out in the first round, I would honestly choose any one of them. There isn't one that really kind of sticks out to me, the one I like better. He's definitely in my kind of radar as far as who we should get.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I would love Jameis, but he's probably going to be a top 15 draft pick this year, and I just don't see us getting him. So I have to. That's why I suggest someone who does possibly fall to us, and any one of them would be good. So
yeah,
great. As long as we get some young talent, seems like what we're trying to ask for here on our end. Okay, perfect. I see some people in the comments saying Trent McDuffie is a safety. He's a cornerback, right? At least unless they're saying he's going to transition into a safety because he's not good.
Washington.
Yeah, he's a cornerback. It's all good. All right, no worries. Cool. All right. Well, let's open it up here. I mean, obviously, we kind of have, we spoke about Steve. We talked about the offseason and what we're feeling like right now. If there's one big trade right now, I think let's kind of end it with this. And everybody think of a scenario here that you would want Steve Keim to do. If we look at Steve Keim, the best thing he does is trades, right? Drafting, free agency, but trading is where it's like that's where it's at. Like that's what you do very good at. If you were to think of a dream scenario, you could give draft picks. It doesn't matter what draft picks, but who you would want the Arizona Cardinals to go out after get, whether it's a cornerback, whether it's a wide receiver, whether it's an edge player, whether it's a an interior, defensive lineman, a guard, whatever. what do you think the Arizona Cardinals should do if we did one big splash play and the cap wasn't and it doesn't exist?
I say trade for Michael Thomas. I feel like he doesn't want to be in New Orleans no more.
Oh, I forgot about that, man.
Yeah, because everyone's really like under the radar about that because no one really knows about the New Orleans situation with the coach Sean Payton retiring. Um, their cap hit is very very bad. Alvin Kamara going to jail. So like I feel like I feel like getting Michael Thomas because he doesn't want to be in New Orleans no more. They're kind of like in a rebuild mode. They're in a big cap situation, so why not get Michael Thomas and have him be a wide receiver too? I feel like he's not really injured. If he is, then I hope he's not really injury prone. But he just doesn't want to play for New Orleans because they're in some disagreement of an extension or whatever the situation may be. But I feel like we should go after him. If of course if he's available, of course. But I feel like trade for him. Give up probably a second round, a third round, and maybe a key player that we have in depth that they might be interested in. Just to get a solid wide receiver too, besides DeAndre Hopkins.
Wow. Okay. All right. Anybody else got anything?
If we're talking about just dream scenarios strictly, you know, I would go on Madden. I'd go to the Cowboys and I'd trade for CeeDee Lamb and to get that Kyler Murray CeeDee Lamb connection. Also opens up D-Hop. You know, it would just be great. I'd probably trade. I would be willing to give up this year's first and maybe next year's 2023 second round pick. You know, I think he's worth it. You know.
Can you imagine if we did that?
That's
like it's nuts. Like I can't even like because we still are kind of like out on like we don't really know 100% like what Isaiah Simmons is going to be. You know what I mean? We still kind of don't know. Like we want him. We're hoping and praying that he works out, but we still don't 100% know. Anybody else?
What if?
True.
I mean, he was supposed to be one of the top defensive prospects, and he's been good, but not like what he's supposed. You know, his potential was supposed to be at. You know.
Yeah, I do blame it on the Cardinals too, though. What else do you have? 100%.
Doesn't know how to use rookies. Can't really use linebackers that well.
Nope. 100%.
Chandler left because of the schemes. Vance Joseph runs the schemes on the defense. So.
Facts. Yeah, facts. Chris, anything?
Not really. I can't think of anyone in particular that I could actually go for. Most of what's coming to mind is Brandon Cooks, just because he comes from Oregon State.
That's fair. All right, cool. Alex, what you got?
Well, nothing really. I mean, I will say that there's a lot of pitter-patter going on with Seattle that they're looking to move DK Metcalf. And, I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing him rocking the AZ colors just to, you know, give that, you know, to Seattle. You know, because they've always pushed us around. I still have nightmares about the Legion of Boom. So, I mean, I personally wouldn't mind getting Metcalf. Just don't know what we have to offer to get him. But if there's any person who can do this witchcraft, it's Thanos' slower younger brother.
Yeah, nice.
He did it with DeAndre Hopkins. Although, of course, the Texans had a crackhead in their office at the time. Yeah.
That's fair.
Right, I mean, like,
he's a great GM. I would say that.
100%. All right, Justin.
Yeah, I mean, like, they traded Russell Wilson for Drew Lock, so why not give him Andy Isabella for DK Metcalf?
That's funny. All right, Justin, what you got?
My fantasy situation would be, or for nostalgia, would be to bring back the Honey Badger.
Ooh.
Or Calais.
Calais Campbell would be nice.
He's still available.
Yeah, aren't they both still available?
Yep.
I thought I could have been the meth. I went to New Orleans. I could have sworn I saw a bulletin saying that he went to New Orleans.
I think he wants to go visit.
He wants to go to New Orleans.
Oh,
he wants. Oh, that makes sense. He played in LSU,
and he's been in LSU this whole like past 2 weeks. And you know, he said they don't need him. That's why he probably hasn't signed yet. You know, so
yeah. Good scenarios. Michael Thomas, completely forgot about that guy. I really did. Whoa. Crazy. 1 year off, right? And completely forgot about him. Good stuff, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate you guys for coming through. Thank you so very much. This has been a bit of blast. Thank you. Obviously, when the draft comes in or let's get a little closer, we'll start talking about the draft prospects and what happens. And hopefully we'll be doing a live stream so we can all kind of, chill with each other, hang out with draft. So I appreciate everybody for coming through as always, y'all. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate y'all.
Have a good one.
Later,
You
guys.
too.
All right, so that concludes our roundtable, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate everybody for coming through. Just FYI, huge shout out to everybody. Great opinions all across the board. One big takeaway or some takeaways that we have from, obviously this whole scenario with, are you happy with, the offseason and stuff like that? Most fans aren't. Most fans aren't happy with the way that the offseason is going. And I think some people are a little worried or a little timid to talk about it because it almost kind of makes them seem like they are a bad fan, which in my mind, I don't think that's the case. I think the Arizona Cardinal fans need to demand better. I don't want to get as toxic as New York or any other big market that has really toxic fans. But I do think that there is something to say where the Arizona Cardinal fans do need to demand better. And if we come out here and lay a big flat goose egg, I wouldn't know what to say. I really wouldn't as a Cardinal fan. We're all hoping that we're going to go up, right? That's the next steps up. We got 11 wins this last year. Hopefully we can win a playoff game. But it's so crazy to me because I ended up posting a poll question on my Twitter page, and I asked, what is your expectations for the 2022 season for the Arizona Cardinals? Like, what's your expectations? And I had 4 different options. I had win a playoff game, win the division, win the Super Bowl, and then there's other. And what do you know? Arizona Cardinal fans, which I haven't checked in a hot second. It's been a while, but at that time that I did check on it, the majority of people were saying other. Where comments were supposed to be played, but they didn't put any comments on there. So it almost kind of seems like there's a lot of Cardinal fans that are accepting already the fact that we might not be good this year, and we're just going to play it by ear. And that's kind of one of the things that frustrates me because we got to hold these people that are making these decisions accountable, and we just ain't doing it. We just ain't doing it at all. But ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you guys for coming here. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to everybody. Thank you so very much for the new channel members. Thank you so very much for all the super chatters. Thank you so very much for all the people that rock with the AZ Sports Fan. Thank you as always. Have a great rest of your day. The draft is coming. We will continue to do more live streams as it goes through. What are the Arizona Cardinals going to do? Are they going to trade up? Are they going to trade back? Are they going to go for your favorite player? I don't know. We will see. We got some days away, 20 plus days away, but we will take a look, guys. Appreciate you guys for coming through as always. Have a great rest of your day. And as always, go Cards.